Hey, Hunter S. Thompson here. All right, well, it's all Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Glenn Moody. How you doing, Doctor?
Hello, folks. How are you today?
Hey, well, I think they're probably doing pretty good. They might be a little bit fed up. Hey, we was talking about a guy named Rush Limbaugh. There's a big old butterball of a guy. He was in pharmaceutical sales for a while, apparently, but you'd never know it.
Well, you know, Al Franken, wasn't it, who wrote the book called Rush Limbaugh is a Big Fat Idiot?
Yeah, I remember that book.
And it's really a useful book because a lot of it is true.
Sure.
But it also illustrates that Al Franken is kind of a middle-sized idiot.
Sure. Well, yeah, a lot of them are. You got to be
not much different.
Got to be careful who you're getting your information from.
Yeah, that's true.
What did you think about that thing that JS wrote this morning about the broken wings?
Broken wings, very interesting. It takes two wings to fly, a left wing and a right wing, and you can't get by on one of them. I've been watching some airline videos.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about if your one wing falls off,
yeah, that's it.
You got one way to go. That's straight down.
The accuser there, you know who that was there in Paradise Lost?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
The great Satan.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, educate yourselves, folks. What is a demagogue? Do you watch Bill O'Reilly? Do you watch Rush Limbaugh? Do you watch Hannity and Combs? And what's that Coulter woman, that crazy Coulter woman?
Blondie Ann Coulter.
And she's part of that Boston Tea Party or another Tea Party?
Oh, I don't know. You know, these people were not Tea Party people. The Tea Party was around a long time before the conservatives got excited about it. All that got them excited was when they weren't smart enough, they didn't pay attention enough to know that universal health care was going to require them to pay for somebody else's health insurance. They thought it was going to be money out of the sky.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that.
They wanted to cover everybody. They were all for that, as long as it didn't come from them.
Now, this universal health care conversation has come into play over the years, over the decades, since what, 1940, we'll say. Let's talk about that. You want to?
Well, that's
we go back to Hayek though. 1942 writes the book. It's really a warning. Covers
Road to Serfdom.
The Road to Serfdom. That's right. And you know what Hayek did. He had a quote at the beginning of every one of his essays. And you'd be surprised who the quotes came from. Came from Karl Marx, Adolf Hitler, FDR, all these different people throughout history that have been in a position of power that, you know, you have to recognize the wolf in sheep's clothing. And what F.A. Hayek did was he created an awareness amongst his readers, amongst we will say academics, because he does use some big words. Now, if we could dumb that down, we could really reach some people. The Road to Serfdom by F.A. Hayek. Now, universal health care. Now, we want to talk about the Affordable Care Act. Let's not call it Obamacare. Now, you and I may disagree on this, Glenn, but there's some good and bad to both things. It's right wing, left wing right there. How are we going to fly, Glenn?
Well, it's because our health care system is so bad. A week ago, I saw a lady being interviewed on TV who was the head of the nurses union, and they were asking her what she thought the response to Ebola would be, or what it is. And she said it's terrible because we don't have a health care system in America. And so that is what universal health care was. What do we say? You know, it had to happen. It was necessary.
Sure.
Because it was the next thing.
Right, yeah. Now, the Clintons talked about this a lot.
It didn't have to happen, but the way we were going, the slippery slope, that was just the next step down there.
Whoa, banana peel. Whoa. Hey, guys, universal health care. There again, socialism, fascism, whatever you want to call it. Now, there could be a good thing here and a bad thing here. When we go back to the Roman history, they had two factions that controlled everything: the proletariat and the republic. The republic represented the rich, and the proletariat represented the poor. Now, that was divisive that way. Always this two-party system, and it fails. Any empire that brings an eagle into as its standard has failed throughout history, and it's lasted roughly the same amount of time. The Romans, well, you just go back in history, and here we are.
Talk about bread and circus. Bread and circus. That's why the Roman Empire fell, because people wanted to be entertained, they wanted to spend their time at the Colosseum, and they wanted free bread. You know, they started appeasing the people who were just citizens of Rome proper. by giving them free grain
Sure.
to get votes. You know,
Yeah, right.
Look what I'm going to do for you. That's what Nathan Bond used to say when I ran against him for state representative. He
2002.
He said, don't listen to the guy who says he's for the common good. That was me. He said, listen to the guy who says he's going to do stuff for you. And so that's what helped the Roman Empire. They started giving away free grain to just citizens of Rome.
Sure.
And then they widened it to give the citizens of the empire.
Sure.
But then after a while, they had to start buying grain from other countries of the world,
Right.
Egypt primarily. And then the people said, well, we like this free grain we're getting, but we have to grind it. It's terrible.
We don't want to work lazy.
We have to work to grind it.
Wow.
So they started grinding the grain for people.
Hey, you got any cake? Give me a piece of cake. I want to take and eat it too. Hey, yeah, that's right. And going back to that, with the Roman Empire, with the grain, now what the Romans did when they acquired this stuff, they all of a sudden had slaves. You know, when they conquer Gaul, they conquer all these different areas, they have slaves. Now sometimes these people can become part of the community but not necessarily have rights to citizenship. That's important too. So they expand really beyond their reach. And the first triumvirate, which would be Crassus and Julius Caesar and that other guy. Anyway, Caesar ended up being the biggest fish. He gobbled the other two up when he crossed the Rhine. Anyway, God bless America and some parts of China. I hope this isn't over your head. I hope it's kind of under your chin. Maybe you read a good book on that. F.A. Hayek, you know, if you search for Hayek on YouTube, you will find a cartoon version that give you a little warning that way. You may be able to find a Bugs Bunny version on there if you search hard enough.
Spell it for them.
The Road to Serfdom.
No, I mean Hayek.
Hayek. F-A-Y-E-K. Or
H-A-Y-E-K.
F period A period H-A-Y-E-K. F-A Hayek. The Road to Serfdom. S-E-R-F-D-O-M. D-O-M, not D-U-M, okay? Look it up, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is Hunter S. Thompson and Dr. Glenn Moody.
See you later.
Yep, Pinky in the Brain, signing off.